Hey guys, it is Kyle with Devoted Plumbing. I'm waiting on a city inspector to come check a gas line, and I thought what better time than right now to explain the process because many homeowners don't ever have to go through this. So essentially what happens if you have a fire or if you smell gas and call the gas company, they'll come out and they'll shut your gas off, lock the meter and say call a plumber. They'll evaluate your gas lines, and then you can go from there. So the first thing I do when I get there is evaluate the gas lines, look at how they're ran, make sure everything is sized appropriately, make sure it's up to modern day code. Many of the homes I go into, uh, you know, it may have been code back in 1960, but it's not code today. And so we try to update those to make sure that the gas lines are safe. Next, we pressurize the gas lines to ensure that they're going to be gas tight. We use air to air it up and then check each joint for any kind of leaks. As long as it's holding pressure, it means your gas lines are going to be safe. Then what we have to do is call in for an inspection, and the city inspector will come out, evaluate your gas lines, and they'll check the gauge, make sure your line's holding, and then they will give it a clear, good to go on the permit. The Depending on your situation, they don't always clear it right away, especially if it was a dangerous building where the home caught on fire, something like that. You may need inspections for the electrical, structural, other things that come into play beyond just gas. But once it's clear by the city inspector, you should be able to call Spire and they'll come turn the gas back on. But again, it doesn't always happen exactly that smoothly. Sometimes it's a very multiple day process. The other thing is that the appliances sometimes also are on a separate, like, final inspection. And so the gas lines are really just the gas lines, not necessarily the gas lines to the water heater or the furnace. You know, if you have something like that, you may need additional work or inspections on those things. So that's kind of the process. It can be time consuming and it can be a little frustrating, as typically the pricing is straightforward and we say this is how much it's going to cost. Whereas with a pressure test, it's difficult to say until you've determined where the leaks are, how many joints are leaking, and all of those kinds of things. So I'll be here waiting for the inspector and hopefully everything goes smooth. All right, I thought I'd do a quick follow-up. The inspector came out. He checked to make sure it was holding pressure. He went inside. He checked to make sure the pipes were supported. They had sediment traps. Everything had a shutoff. Everything functioned. He waited a while you have to let the test run approximately 15 minutes, and then checked everything again, and everything looked good. So we passed that inspection as we pretty much anticipate. You don't call in for an inspection until you know you're going to pass the inspection, or else you'll have another inspection fee and yada, yada, yada. It just draws the whole thing out. So once you are positive you're going to pass, that's when you call in, and they'll usually give you an open time frame. It's usually AM or PM, and so you don't know when they'll come. They don't really call. They just show up, and you've got to be waiting there ready for them to do the inspection. So they are all cleared, and we are ready to fix and service your gas lines as well. So give me a call.